Hello, welcome to IELTS Resource Center podcast, where we dive deep into the world of IELTS preparation. I am Mr. George, your host, and I'm thrilled to bring your essential tips, strategies, and expert advice to help you reach your desired IELTS score. Today, I will be bringing to you interactive learning experience from IELTS Resource Center online coaching session. Stay tuned.
Hey there, ready for another deep dive? Today we're tackling matching sentence endings in the IELTS reading section. And for this one, we're going straight to the source, Mr. George at the IELTS Resource Center.
Yeah, his approach is amazing. It doesn't just help you pass a test, it actually makes you a better reader overall.
Okay, so imagine we're looking at a passage about, let's say, Nigerian music. We skim it, get the main idea, and then boom, we see those matching sentence endings questions. What does Mr. George say is the first move?
First, and this might sound obvious, but read the instructions carefully.
Oh, for sure. You don't want to miss some key detail like whether you can use an ending more than once.
Exactly. It's just like baking, you gotta check that recipe first, right?
Love the analogy. So, recipes down, what's next?
Mr. George says skim the passage.
Right, not like deep dive reading it, just getting the gist.
Yeah, think of it like making a mental map before you go treasure hunting.
Okay, so we've read the instructions, skimmed the passage, and we're starting to get a sense of this Nigerian music scene. What's next?
Now we start playing detective. Step 3 is all about analyzing those sentence starters.
Each one is like a little mystery, right?
Totally. They hold clues about what the matching ending should be. Pay attention to the keywords, the tone.
Like, is it cause and effect or a definition?
Exactly.
And then, of course, we can't forget about those sentence endings.
Great. Step 4, preview the endings. We're looking for keywords, synonyms, anything that might connect back to those starters.
It's like gathering all your tools before you start building something.
You got it. You're looking for those patterns, those little whispers that say, hey, we belong together.
Now, to make this all come alive, let's use a story from Mr. George's website. It's about a young Nigerian musician named Adebayo.
Oh, I think I remember this one.
So Adebayo has hit a creative block and hears about this, legendary talking drum hidden deep in a forest.
The one that's supposed to inspire amazing music.
Yeah. And the passage describes his journey to find it, all about his passion for music, his connection to Nigerian culture, but cleverly woven into the story.
Are clues to help us answer matching sentence endings questions.
Exactly like on the real IELTS exam. So let's say one sentence starter says, Adebayo believed that the talking drum. How do we find the ending?
We have to channel our inner Adebayo and see what the passage tells us about his beliefs.
Okay, so let's say the passage says, Adebayo believed the drum held the secrets to unlocking his musical potential.
Then the matching ending might be something like, could help him overcome his creative block and compose his greatest masterpiece.
Ah, I see. It's not just matching words, it's about getting the deeper meaning and how those ideas connect.
It's like we're learning to read between the lines, just like Adebayo had to decipher clues to find that drum.
Exactly. So we've got 4 steps down. Read instructions, skim the passage, analyze sentence starters, preview endings. How do we start actually making those matches?
That's where step 5 comes in. Mash using keywords, and this is where the real detective work begins.
Looking for synonyms, referencing words.
Cause and effect indicators, anything that logically connects a starter to an ending.
So let's say another sentence starter about Adebayo is, the journey to find the drum was, and one possible ending is, filled with challenges that tested his resolve. How do we decide if that's the right match?
Those keywords are crucial. Did the passage mention any obstacles Adebayo faced? Did it talk about overcoming difficulties or being determined?
If it did, then that ending might be a good fit.
Right, but remember, we're not done yet.
Oh yeah, Mr. George makes it very clear this is a multi-step process.
Yeah.
What comes next? How do we know for sure if we found the right match?
Now, this is where step 6 comes in. Verify using context. We're not just playing a word matching game here.
Right, we have to look at the bigger picture.
Exactly. It's about understanding what the author meant, the logic of the whole passage. So, going back to Adebayo's journey, Even if an ending mentions like challenges and resolve.
We still have to double check that those things were actually part of his journey, right?
Right. Maybe the passage focused more on his excitement, not the tough stuff.
All right, that's a good point. It really shows how this isn't just scanning for words. We have to understand the nuances of what we're reading.
Absolutely. And this step is key for avoiding those distractors that Mr. George always talks about.
Distractor.
Those are the endings that look right at first glance.
But they have like a little twist that makes them wrong.
Exactly. They might use the right keywords, but the meaning's slightly off. Maybe they contradict something subtle from the passage. That's why verifying with context is so important. We've got to be critical readers, not just matching machines.
So say one ending for Adebayo's journey was surprisingly easy and uneventful, even if those words are in the passage.
We got to make sure that matches the overall tone.
Right, because if the passage emphasized how challenging his journey was...
Then that easy and uneventful ending would be a classic distractor.
Okay, so we've looked at our options, checked them against the passage, hopefully dodged those distractors. What's the final step?
Step 7. Eliminate wrong answers. This is where we double check everything.
Make sure our choices make sense grammatically, logically.
And that they're fully supported by the text. No leaps of faith here.
So it's like doing a final sweep to make sure all the puzzle pieces are in the right place.
Exactly. We're getting rid of any lingering doubts and building our confidence.
You know, I think a lot of people get intimidated by matching sentence endings.
Oh yeah, it's definitely different from other IELTS question types.
It's not just about finding information, it's about understanding the connections between ideas.
And that's what makes Mr. George's approach so great. It's not just test-taking tricks, it's helping you become a better reader overall.
So these steps would be useful even outside of the IELTS, right?
Totally. Think about all the complex stuff we read every day, articles, reports, even emails.
Oh, for sure. Being able to analyze those effectively would be super helpful.
Right. These skills can help you understand anything you read with more confidence and clarity.
And the more you practice these steps,
the more natural they'll become. It's like learning to dance.
At first it's awkward, but then it becomes effortless.
Exactly.
So to recap, Mr. George's 7 steps are: read instructions, skim the passage, analyze those sentence starters, preview the endings, match using keywords, verify with context, and eliminate wrong answers.
Perfect summary. And remember, the key is to be systematic and thoughtful, just like Adebayo was when he went looking for that drum.
He didn't just rush in blindly. He prepared and followed the clues carefully.
Right. We need that same kind of focus for the IELTS.
Absolutely. And this isn't just about memorizing steps. It's about developing that mindset of active, engaged reading.
That's what'll really unlock your potential on the IELTS and beyond.
Okay, so we've gone through Mr. George's 7 steps, seen him in action with Adebayo, and talked about how these skills are helpful even outside of the IELTS. But before we wrap up, any last words of wisdom for anyone facing matching sentence endings on test day?
I think the most important thing to remember is this question type is all about thinking critically. It's not just finding the right words, it's understanding those connections between ideas. What did the author really mean?
Like we're those literary detectives putting all the puzzle pieces together.
Right. And that's a skill that'll help you no matter what you're reading. So when you're practicing, really engage with the text. Question everything. Look for those deeper meanings.
That reminds me of something Mr. George said on his website. He wants students to see the IELTS as like an opportunity to learn valuable skills, not just some hurdle to jump over.
That's such a good point, and it fits perfectly with what we're doing here in this deep dive, right?
Totally. We're not just giving you the answers, we're trying to give you the tools to become a more confident reader.
A more insightful reader, too.
Exactly. So that brings us to the end of our deep dive into matching sentence endings. We hope you feel ready to take on this question type and that you've discovered a love for critical reading along the way.
Remember, the IELTS is tough, but with the right approach and a little help from experts like Mr. George, you got this.
So keep practicing, keep learning, and most importantly, keep exploring that amazing world of words.
Achieve your IELTS goals with Mr. George. Get ready for IELTS success with personalized guidance from Mr. George Expert Coaching at IELTS Resource Center. With years of experience and passion for teaching, they provide tailored strategies, practical exercises, and real-time feedback to help you reach your target band score. Subscribe now to access exclusive materials, personalized coaching, and flexible online sessions that fit within your schedule. This is your chance to learn from the best and confidently for every session of the IELTS exam. For more information, call or WhatsApp us at 09052964864 or 07083458307.